Our bodies never lie. My poetry teacher recently said this to me, and it hit home so deeply. It struck me like nails in a chalkboard. I, of all people, know this. I've battled with chronic illnesses for over 8 years and general sickness most of my life. I got sick at 3 months, was hospitalized, and was ready to peace out on this life already. But my sweet grandmother, I know she sat over my hospital bed. I don't really know how, but somehow my soul does. She told me to keep going and that I was her little angel. And I think something in me knew that. I was here to help speak for all the women in my life and history who could never talk as boldly as I do and will continue to my very last dying breath. My body has never once lied to me, even when I was told I had autoimmune diseases and that my body was attacking itself, that there was nothing left doctors could do for me but to manage my symptoms. But I didn't want to be controlled by some sketchy drugs that caused blindness or be a forever chemo patient therapy that killed my eyelashes and my hair and my immune system. These were all the options they had left for me. I didn't want to live in hospital beds and exam rooms and only be witnessed by strangers in white coats. I wanted to dip my toes in the sand, float on the ocean, dance under the rain, kiss my lover goodnight every day, hold my daughter, laugh until I pee in my pants, play with my puppy, and talk long into the night with all the beautiful people I'd meet. I didn't want this life they offered me as their rescue plan. For over a year, when I first got really sick, it felt like every single day my daughter and I would wake up and go to the doctor. I'd arrive with my 2-year-old holding her plastic cup of puffs and watching Cinderella and Jungle Book on my phone while I talked to the doctors or nurses. My daughter was always praised for her ability to sit still and be patient while they examined me. But little did they know, this was her new daily routine. Finding her wanting her own doctor kit at home wasn't a big surprise. At my sister's request, who worked in the medical field, I visited the doctors until they had no more answers for me, and only questions for my body that they would use with their listening tools. Instead of actually listening to the laundry list of symptoms, she was already communicating with them, but they don't know how to listen to those. So after a year of being a professional patient, I left medical offices and sought every single other answer I could. I tried multiple holistic methods, candida diets, autoimmune paleo diets, blood testing with an herbalist, acupuncturist with a Chinese medicine therapist, structural integration therapy, and chiropractic work. None of it worked until I stumbled upon someone called medical medium. Here, people were healing with real things. I dove in, and with it, I became fully disabled, wheelchair-bound, because I did not go gently with my body, going straight from a non-fruit sugar, high in fat diet to a full sugar, low-fat diet. But I started to heal. I found my savior. And he'd written 2 full books of fully healed people. I wanted it so desperately that I would go to any extreme. I healed a lot, but never entirely, despite all the claims. My body opened up more as I started to practice yoga and meditation. She finally revealed more truth and trusted my brain with the facts of my past. I'd been sexually abused by my family, strangers, and my father. She didn't show me all the details, but enough to understand why my stomach would always hurt growing up and why I hated that weird medical treatment in my parents' room. Why I hated my dad's kisses and never wanted to cuddle with him, let alone trust him that much. And why not to mention my sister and I were never that close. We were separated emotionally, so I had to keep quiet. All the signs pointed to the truth. My body remembered what my mind couldn't. I was never really my own. She wasn't chronically ill. my body. She was fucking destroyed from the inside out. With every symptom, every voice she spoke that got labeled with a name other than what she was trying to say was a form of continued abuse I was doing to myself. Spiritually bypassing, but medically diagnosing instead. I was keeping her quiet and disempowering her by labeling her more. With the medical medium came more labels of illness, but instead of calling it chronic fatigue, we called it Epstein-Barr, shingles, adrenal fatigue, streptococcus, and other viral load names. They all needed eradicating by eating just the right foods that would kill these things and herbs that would also kill them. But my body didn't need a label to be killed as if she was growing a weed. She needed a gardener to sit at her blooming feet and call her beautiful. She needed a poet to touch her aching heart and listen to her. She didn't need a warrior to call her chronically sick, fighting for life, but a warrior to stand up and set right all the wrongs she endured. So I became that. I became the gardener that sat in bed with her every day, telling her she is worth a better life. I became the warrior killing off everything in her life that wasn't making her be heard, seen, and deeply valued. I became the poet that wrote my dreams into life. And now I'm the poet that sits at her feet, worshiping her, weeping and raging with her at all the wrong that's been done against her. I am the warrior finally speaking up for everything she wants and needs. Our bodies never lie to us. We are just terrible listeners. Because of my story, I'm calling us all to become better listeners. Brave warriors do not battle what's going wrong outside of us, but what's still happening inside. But the voice of the little girl who felt powerless under the pressure of her father, be the voice of the little girl or boy or child who felt powerless under the pressure of. Be the one who knows how to say fuck no and has no fuck maybes. Be the best advocate for absolutely everything she asks for, understanding she doesn't demand too much. She is beyond worthy and the most precious gift she'll ever get in this life. This one precious body, honor her. You have one priceless body. Will you listen to it? Here's the thing. This is my story. This is what I've learned the hard way. Our bodies never lie to us. They're always speaking to us. And they believe everything we tell them. And we've been told a lot about who we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to feel, how we're supposed to even identify, how we're supposed to relate.